Well, we're with you to take a look at how we're opening up in our ag commodity trade. Yes, we did open up the Dow Jones industrial averages, basically limit down and beyond this morning, and tripped that circuit breaker just right off the bat this morning. So it did happen as they fully expected. So what kind of impact is that having on our ag trade? The ag trade is moving and the grain markets are trading. Remember, the trading floor is closed in Chicago, so everything is done electronically now. And all the workers at the CME trading floor are working from home or remote offices today. Let's take a look at how we're holding up on the corn so far. We are down, but we're down by 5 1/4 on the May at 360.5. New crop December down 4 at 369. And let's move on to the soybean market. Right now on the soybeans, we have the May contract dropping 8.5 cents at 840 1/4. And we have the November new crop soybeans down 6.5. We're at 8.58 per bushel right now. We are not on the low of the day. We have bounced off of it a little bit. Now let's take a look at how we're opening up in the wheat trade. Let's start with Chicago. We have the May contract down 9 3/4, so they're hitting it again. We're at 496 1/4, and that is now about 11 cents off its overnight high. We have July down 8 3/4. Kansas City on the May contract this morning. We have it trading 7 1/4 lower at 424 1/4. July down 7.5 at 431. Minneapolis trade this morning is lower as well. And we have the May down at 504 1/2, down about 4 cents. We have July down 3 3/4 at 515 3/4. Well, Dewey Strickler is chomping at the bit to talk with us about the markets. He's with AgWatch Market Advisors in Franklin, Kentucky. So at least the grain trade is doing something today. A lot of the other markets are just kind of at a standstill, hitting limit moves or circuit breakers or something today. Is that encouraging in any way to you?
Well, yes, it is. We're not through with the downside on the grains here just yet, but it's not going to be nearly as much as what the financial markets are going to go through. Just to kind of give an example here, your soybeans, I'm showing we are in the last leg down from the January 2nd highs. We're probably going to see a low here within the next day or two. You'll look for a 1 to 2 day bounce, and then you're going to be looking at your final leg down, and in my opinion, it'll be over.
So is that based on Elliott wave counts, or what do you base that on?
That's based on Elliott wave.
All right, I know you're a proponent of that. So talk to me about this, the corn. The guys can't get in the field, really, and get much accomplished this year. Is there a point at which the traders will have to realize that, well, maybe we need to start building in a little bit of that weather premium this year?
Yeah, I think that's exactly going to come into play here, Marlon. You look at the forecast here for the next 10 days in the southeast, there's just not going to be very much work done. And I think, there'll be a point when the trade stops looking at the financial markets, and they're going to look at the weather, and they're going to say, hey, any corn planted? And then they're going to get a little bit excited.
Do you think wheat will find any support anywhere near where we are right now?
I could look for wheat going down about another dime, maybe about another 10 cents here. I think it'll bottom about the same time that corn will. Matter of fact, I think all three grains will bottom just about the same time. I've got some cycle lows due here a week from today, and then I got some due right around April the 1st, which obviously is April Fool's Day. So there you are.
All right. Well, the irony there is not lost on anybody. Okay, we'll come back in a moment, and we'll take a look at our livestock trade, see how they are doing on the open this morning. We'll be right back. $450, $450, $450, $450, $450, $450, $450. Oop, $392.
Must be on a nearby contract.
It is.
It's weird how I would know that.
It's kind of weird. It's like, for some reason, May hogs must not have traded yet. That's kind of odd.
I'm selling coronavirus bunkers.
Are you?
Yeah, they're for liberals. It's an old dumpster. There's one way in, but no way out.
Almost sounds like an Archie bunker.
close to it.
Hey, Dewey is not old enough to know what that TV show is. Be careful.
Oh, I bet I am.
Julie, I'm just hoping we're not hitting that 6,200 you were predicting this week already.
You mean in the Dow?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We got about another, I think, 1,700 points on the downside, around 19.2. You get a bounce, and then we'll go down to 14.3.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Any day, anytime.
You're excused now.
You can pay me in toilet paper.
And hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I work for toilet paper.
Yeah. Fortunately, right across the street from my house, there's a cave. If you need to find me next week, I'll probably be there. Good heavens. Is the Dow back to trading yet? Should be.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah,
barely.
down 11.4 now. Down 2,600. Holy moly. We're talking with Dewey Strickler now of AgWatch Market Advisors in Franklin, Kentucky. We're going to shift our focus now over to the livestock trade, which can be reliant on what goes on in the equity markets. I mentioned in the last segment that we had the Dow Jones Industrial Average immediately tripping that circuit breaker right at the open this morning because it was over 7% lower. And now I look and I see where it is back to trading, but now we're down 2,600 points and then some, and down 11.4%. Well, remember that second circuit breaker would be if it goes down 13% in value, and it has never been hit ever since they established that new circuit breaker rule. And boy, there is a chance that they could actually do it today. In the meantime, let's look at how we're opening up in our livestock trade. Remember, we closed up quite a few of the contracts limit down on Friday. So that means expanded limits today, and they are utilizing every one. On the live cattle, $4.50 lower across the board. So that's easy to do the math. Nothing even close to $100 anymore. Let's look at feeder cattle, and feeders are not in expanded limit mode today. Their normal limit is $4.50, and they're using that, except for the far out September. It's actually trading a little bit. So we're $4.50 lower all the way through August. Now let's switch over to the lean hog trade. And lean hogs are trading with expanded limits today of $4.50. We're seeing a little trading today. The April down 383 at 52.55. And we have May down 440 at 58.30. It has been hitting limit down, at least earlier today. It's not there right now. June and July are expanded limit down $4.50 lower. August trading down 435. So wicked moves to the downside once again in the livestock trade. Dewey, what do you say about a market opening like that?
Well, it's obviously not very good. As I mentioned, in our segment before the break there, I think the grains are not that far from a low. I can't really say that about the meats here. I mean, when you look at it, the restaurants, school closings, business closings, and so forth. Beef production about 7.5% above a year ago. These meats have got some work cut out ahead of them.
So are they going to be totally tied yet to the Dow? We thought maybe on Friday they had managed to break themselves away because the Dow went higher and the meats went down anyway.
I think that the meats are going to be tied to the Dow here to some extent. The Dow continues to go lower. That's going to shake up consumers as far as their spending is concerned, and that, especially the discretionary spending, which includes going out to eat at your local restaurant, what have you.
All right. Well, Dewey, thank you so much for talking with us here this morning. I appreciate that. Dewey Strickler is with AgWatch Market Advisors. He is based in Franklin, Kentucky. And, John, the question that is hovering over the entire marketplace is, at what point is everything cheap enough to where the international buyers just can't turn it down anymore, and it's just too attractive, and they just have to buy.
Yep. Well, thanks a lot for keeping up on it. Sure appreciate it. Thank you.